My name is Kisha Brewer, and I'm 56 years old, and I'm raising my grandkids. They are soon to be 17, 15, and one just turned 14. I'm a single parent, and I've had them since the 14-year-old. I brought her home from the hospital, so I've had them basically their whole life. They came to live with me because I have a daughter that is addicted to drugs, and their father is as well. So they came because there was drugs and domestic violence. So I've pretty much had them ever since. And Haven's actually my miracle child because that all the doctors and stuff said, she wouldn't be able to, I'm trying not to get emotional, but she wouldn't be able to do this or that, and she's just excelled in everything. They're all straight A and B students, so I'm proud of that. And I'm also proud of the fact that anytime they go somewhere without me, people tell me just how well-mannered and what good kids they are. So I just feel like I've done something right in that regard, so I'm very proud of them. The landlord had told me that he might have somebody interested in buying the house, and he never followed up on it, and I didn't think anything else about it. And then I did ask him, and he's told me that, he's like, well, don't worry about it, the deal fell through. And even if it would have, they know that that the house is occupied. Well, long story short, we were getting my grandson ready for his soccer game, and a couple comes and knocks on the door and said that they introduced themselves and said that they bought the house, and they almost tripled my rent, and I couldn't afford to stay there. So me and my grandkids had to move out.
So Kisha went through a situation where she suddenly found herself in need of housing. So like all of our guests here, she applied for our program. So it's an application process. And once they apply, they're interviewed and then determined whether or not they can work through our program. So it's not a shelter for everyone. Again, one of the biggest qualifications is that they have children, and she has children that she is taking care of. So she entered into our emergency program here.
I think the hardest part was like feeling like I let my grandkids down. Sorry. That was probably the hardest part because, they depend on me for everything. So I felt like I let them down, and that's what hurt me the most was like, what are they going to think? Are they going to think that, I can't take care of them?
I think it's important for people to know that Kisha did not do anything to deserve this. She didn't do anything to cause it. I think a stigma in the homelessness world is that we as a society believe that they've done something. They're either drunks or they're addicted to something, or they've made poor financial decisions, whatever. And that's just not the case. And that's not the case for a lot of the families that we see. So I think it's important for people to realize that this can happen to anyone. I said it before, I'll say it again. Homelessness does not discriminate.
We've reached a point in the economy and in the housing market where regardless of how much budgeting or regardless of how much financial work someone could do in their situation, they still would not be able to afford the either the dream of home ownership, or still would not be able to afford to rent in this community. They've got perfect credit. They're doing everything right. They've raised 3 children on this kind of income. They know their finances better than I know my finances, better than you know your finances. There's nothing that we could teach them that they haven't tried. And the fact of the matter is we just have a system in place that is falling short.
I got connected with Habitat through the social worker there, actually. She kept telling me about Habitat, and I was like, I'll never get approved for it for different reasons, credit, just I don't make enough on my job is the things that I was thinking. A friend of mine were driving by, and her car actually stopped. And what is in front of us but a Habitat application sign? And she's like, if this isn't your sign, I don't know what is. You need to go get an application. So I went and got the application, and here I am now.
I think what is very important to understand about Habitat in general is that homes are not just given to people. I know that that's kind of a rumor about Habitat, and that's not true. She's working sweat equity hours. She's having to find people to help her gain those hours as well. And that they're still qualifying for a loan and have a mortgage just like everyone else.
Over the past 3 decades, the number of women like Kisha who are heads of their household has increased 17.3%. And at the same time, the number of women who own their own homes has increased by 10.3%. Women tend to reinvest up to 90% of their earnings and income back into their families for things like nutrition, education, healthcare, housing. So when women have access to resources like affordable housing, it creates more stability for their families, for our communities, and for our society at large.
I think homeownership, what it will specifically change for them is just having a stable foundation, like this is our home. We all have a key to this home, like this is our spot.
I think stable housing provides an enormous amount of security for families. If you're thinking, again, generational, we have a stable house. We don't have to worry where we're going to sleep tonight. We don't have to worry if it's going to be taken away from us.
I'm so excited for her and the girls to be able to have this opportunity through Habitat to be able to have their own home, and we're all here to help her get her equity hours and just pour into her and this wonderful organization through Habitat that helps people be able to have their own home and never have to worry about homelessness or anything like that ever again.
I want to own my own home because I want my kids to have something that's going to be theirs, that's going to be ours. And I want them to know that they can do anything that they set their mind to.
Personally, I love seeing the people rally around Kisha. It's hard not to love her once you meet her, and you can tell that by the people who show up at the groundbreaking, the people who showed up to help her. There were more people than there was work, So I think that's just a testament. And there's kids running around everywhere at the groundbreaking, and I think I said before, you can tell a lot by a person by how much kids love them, and kids love Kisha.
Earlier on this year, my daughter was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and she has been there over and over again for me and my daughter. She's been a blessing to others. She has a very big heart.
My favorite part has been when me and my friends have volunteered together. That's been my favorite part, for all of us to come together and volunteer and work on a house.
Today we honor Kisha, Zion, Jordan, and Haven, the strong women and young ladies who are helping shape their community for the better. Together, let us create a world where women of all ages can be strong, independent, and fearless in pursuing their dreams, just like Kisha.
It'll make me cry my lashes off. I think I'm a fighter, and people that I love and people I care about, I'll be for 1,000%. As a kid, I was raised by my grandmother and my aunt, so I think that's where I got that from. That is what makes me feel good, is to be able to help people, and I do it not for anything in return. I just do it because I know that I've been in situations where I've needed help. I want to give back. I want to help because I've been there before.